good, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back again with a brand new video, and I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. It feels real good to be back, man. Got the camera fixed. We're no longer webcam gang. I hated doing videos like that, but we don't have time to focus on the videos and how they're being shot because there is some huge news for Panthers fans that just came out earlier today. Throw this tweet right here from around the NFL. They said Panthers expected to franchise tag tackle Taylor Moton. Now, before I get to how I think this affects the Panthers and the offseason, meaning free agency and the draft, I gotta go ahead and make sure y'all know how I feel about the franchise tag. Look, this might be an unpopular opinion, but for the most part, I'm usually pro player. No player wants to be franchise tagged. A franchise tag is the team acknowledging that you're worth a long-term deal at a pretty high price tag, but they're only going to give you 1 year of security with no fallback plan if you get hurt, or if maybe even your talent falls off. You have no security at all. You earned a long-term deal, but you only get that one singular year. I'm telling you right now, players hate the franchise tag. I know that J-No wanted to get franchise tag after 2015 because we had a very strong team. We had a real strong team, but then David Gettleman and JR snatched that deal off the table, and all J-No did is go on to have his best season of his career the very next year in Washington. Had a decent year the year after that. It wasn't great, but it was all right. But we know if you spend a lot of time in bad situations like Washington or even the Jets, your play falls off. But this isn't about J-No. It's about franchise tags and how it affects the Panthers, specifically in relationship to Taylor Moton right here. But I thought I'd let y'all know. No one likes franchise tags, and it's real tough to tell a guy, look, you deserve a long-term deal. We're just not going to give it to you. This franchise tag for Taylor Moton is extremely beneficial to the Panthers. So I can see why they did it. First of all, you get to keep one of the top tackles in the entire league. I think ESPN had Taylor Moton as the number 10 most valuable free agent this offseason. And when you think about all the free agents this offseason, him being number 10 is a huge deal, especially when you think about the kind of receivers and quarterbacks that are on that list. Taylor Moton being number 10 of all those players is extremely impressive and important for the team to try to retain that kind of talent. Now look, the cutoff date to actually sign these guys to a longer term deal is next Tuesday. That's the 9th of March. So it is still possible for the team to go ahead and franchise tag him and then wait until July to try to get a long-term deal settled out. But let's be real. Taylor Moton is going to be mad expensive to have on a long-term deal. But the good thing is, with the cap going down this year, it may be a little bit cheaper to have him on the franchise tag for this year alone. I think they're estimating it's going to be around $13.5 million for this franchise tag. That's not bad at all because I think it was supposed to be something like 15 or 16 million if you count all of the offensive linemen and what they're making from last year and what the cap was last year. So that actually might work out in our favor. But it's not just the money moves that make this franchise tag situation a very good deal for the Panthers. It's also your strategy in free agency and in the draft changes dramatically. Now, if you have to replace 4, let's call it 3, but honestly 4 spots on the O-line, what you have to do in free agency and the draft changes a lot because, look, it don't matter if you have Teddy out there or if you draft a quarterback or bring in some other free agent or you trade for a guy. If you didn't go ahead and keep Taylor Moton, you'd have to replace so many spots on the O-line. You can't just let Teddy get hit. I know a lot of y'all don't like Teddy. I like him on the field. Some of y'all don't like him personally. Some of y'all got a real problem with him. But here's the thing about Teddy Bridgewater. You don't put him out there with all backups and goofies and dudes who have no business starting, let alone backing up in the NFL. You don't do that to a dude. But it is very hard to replace all the pieces on the O-line while also getting more pieces for the D-line, the linebacker core, maybe even the secondary. Y'all want a tight end? We have to get a tight end as well. Maybe get another receiver, although I think Omar Bayless is going to be a good player who's going to come back. Don't know so much about Christian Miller, whether he's going to be good to go for our linebacker core. I'm not quite so sure that him opting out of last year is going to guarantee him a spot on the team this upcoming year. We'll have to see about that when the time comes. But being able to keep Matt Paris at center You have Taylor Moton at right tackle, and whoever wins the coin flip battle for left tackle, man, I don't know who it's going to be. It could be any of these dudes out here. We don't have very good options at left tackle, but we do have options at left tackle. Being able to keep Taylor Moton guarantees that there are less spots to fill on the O-line and more attention can be given to other spots on the team that need a lot more attention than just the O-line. Look, we understand the O-line needs help, but I'd be lying to you if I told you right now that the 2020 O-line of the Carolina Panthers wasn't one of the better offensive line groups that we've seen in a long time. Now, I'm not saying they were very, very good, but I am saying they're a lot better than what we've seen for several years. I don't want to say a decade, but around a decade. This O-line from just last season was pretty damn good, and Taylor Moton was very good as well. He only allowed 3 sacks last season, and he started every single game for the past 3 years. This is the dude who grinded. Let's be real. He didn't come into this team as one of the best starters, as one of the guys who was guaranteed a spot, guaranteed a role. Taylor had to get it in where he fit in, became one of the best available tackles in the NFL, and now can probably only get a 1-year deal. I'm telling you right now, this long-term deal is probably not going to happen. But what will happen is that the Panthers will buy themselves enough time to get options both in this year's free agency and draft, and then next year's free agency and draft to build an O-line for their next upcoming quarterback, to the point where if you have a good enough O-line and you have the weapons on offense, you might be able to get a quarterback that does not need a full year off to be the starting quarterback. And that's assuming the team doesn't go ahead and draft the 4th best quarterback in this year's draft. Let's keep it real. I know a lot of Panthers fans they're hard stuck on this idea that it doesn't matter which quarterback is left in the draft. You have to pick a quarterback at number 8 regardless. It's probably going to be at least 3, maybe even 4 quarterbacks taken before us. Teams might trade up to get quarterbacks before us. Doesn't matter for a lot of Panthers fans. They say take the 4th, maybe even the 5th best quarterback if you have to, but draft a quarterback no matter what. It's possible Penei Sewell falls to us. We can work with him. And then next year, we can work on getting more O-linemen, get our quarterback then. And by then, you might actually have the weapons and the protection a quarterback needs to come straight from college and start in their first year in the NFL. No onboarding period. There's a lot of options you can have by going ahead and buying some time by franchise tagging Taylor Moton. This is not a move that's going to be a push for a deep playoff run. Taylor Moton alone does not make this Panthers team a playoff team. You want to know why? Because more likely than not, we're still going to have Teddy Bridgewater as the starting quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. Okay, let's get that through our heads right now. Taylor Moton does not make this team Super Bowl bound. The defense, although I thought it was pretty good, pretty impressive, saw what Phil Snow was doing with the defense, I thought they were good last year. They need to get better. We need to see how this offense develops as well. But this move right here buys the Panthers time to shore up other inefficiencies on this team. And then you can also build up and get more O-linemen as time goes. So by next year, you can definitely have the spots. You can definitely have the dudes up front who can protect your moneymaker, who can protect your face of the franchise, who can block for Christian McCaffrey so he don't be getting hurt for 13 out of 16 games. Well, I guess 17 now, actually. But the point is, we actually have time to build the team. We don't have to sit here and try to fill holes everywhere on the O-line and not find people in other spots that can come in and make things better somewhere else. $13.5 million for 1 year Taylor Moton, and the possibility, anything's possible, not very probable, but the possibility that we do get him to sign a long-term deal would be even better. We could have a very, very solid O-line. The guys on defense get 1 more year of experience. They're going to be better. They're going to be on point. And then we have our receivers, our running back core, and then a quarterback who is well protected. That really could speed up the game plan. That could speed up the process of this team finally becoming a deep playoff run team that can maybe at some point chain together 2 seasons where we have winning records. This Panthers team could be formidable very, very soon. And it all starts with franchise tagging Taylor Moton, He won't like it very much, but this could be what's best for the team. That's how I feel about it, man. What are your thoughts on Taylor Moton, the franchise tag, how this affects us this offseason, maybe even next offseason? And if you thought that this team could build an O-line between this offseason and next offseason, do you think it could be worth using our early round pick on an O-lineman and maybe picking up a quarterback next year who already has an O-line ready in front of him to protect him, and we roll the quarterback in this first year next season? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, and you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.